Good morning, Professor. I am Joseph Ho Quyết Thắng. I belong to the Minister of the Infirm province in Vietnam. I, I answer, what is human wisdom according to Socrates? The nature of Socrates' human wisdom is readily illustrated by its identification with philosophia. Human wisdom is not a purely cognitive state. It is a state of loving and desiring wisdom. Moreover, general aporia may be construed as the cognitive part of the composite. It is an awareness of not knowing without definite propositional content. The concept of human wisdom is the fundamental for understanding of the apology, but it has not been properly understood. Received interpretation offer insufficient result for explaining how Socrates could have been humanly wise before Apollo Oracle, when he falsely believed that he was not wise at all. I give that a satisfactory interpretation of human wisdom can be given in terms of philosophia. Socrates was humanly wise before the oracle because he loves wisdom, even though he did not know that he did. The analysis is confirmed by a resolution of some enduring difficulty in the interpretation of apology. In particular, the question of why Socrates continued to search for knowledge he thought impossible to attain. What is our human wisdom? Two distinct answers to this question are discernible in recent scholarship. According to the first line of interpretation, so the human wisdom consists in two things. The first knowledge that he lacked divine wisdom and his actual position of some kind of law-great positions. And the second, he is actually possession of some kind of now great propositional knowledge. The apology does not support the view that Socrates' human wisdom incorporates propositional knowledge. The text is perfectly clear. Socrates is sometimes sensitive because he knows that he is not wise. Even if Socrates' knowledge of his ignorance is compatible with propositional knowledge, Sophia is not essentially constituted by propositional knowledge of any kind. A second line interpretation denies that human wisdom consists even partly in first only knowledge. Rather, Socrates' wisdom is held to consist in its knowledge of his lack wisdom, that is, his humility. Why the rejection of the first knowledge or the knowledge requirement of on human wisdom is faithful to the text, the precise structure of Socrates' humility remains opaque. The third precondition is complicated by the fact that Socrates offers several divergent descriptions of his epistemic state during the course of the oracle narration. How then to make sense of apology? Where Socrates say, what is possible? What is probable sentiment is that if the God is wise and that is oracular response mean that human wisdom is no little, it was little or nothing. One possibility is to deploy a distinction between Socrates and ordinary human wisdom, resisting the scope of the above claim to the latter. Another is to interpret in claim comparatively and is involving exaggeration. Human wisdom is of little value in comparison with divine wisdom. The details are the present context somewhat unimportant. The apology cannot sustain an interpretation of Socrates' human wisdom as categorically lacking in value. The notion of general aporia fit with the text of the apology. Socrates initial description of himself as a being considered that he is not wise as old. The parable between these definition of the philosopher and the portrayal of Socrates in Apology is striking. I have often some reason from thinking that Socrates' human wisdom is philosophia. I now want to put my hypothesis to work by showing that it often of satisfying explanation of the oracle narration. I will begin by restating the problem to which other account of human wisdom are susceptible, but now reformulated as requirements on an interpretation of the oracle narration. As I will then show that my proposed hypothesis satisfies each of the requirements. If the reasoning is reserved, we may conclude by abduction that the account is likely to be true. The hypothesis that human wisdom is philosophia satisfies each of the conditions. Philosophia is to be identified with a state in which one recognizes that one is worth nothing in respect of Sophia. Socrates' pursuit of knowledge of virtue is genuine. The object of his search is Sophia. So philosophy involves striving for wisdom and not for anything less. However, given the likelihood that human being cannot become truly wise, particular aporia is a near inevitable psychological byproduct of searching, hence justify the return to general aporia. This support remains even when inquiry bring about epistemic improvement. In addition, while Socrates does not want to inquire to fail inquiry, say in the sense that virtue resists his attempt to pin it down, keep him in a divinely uproot state, and confirm his interpretation of the meaning of the oracle. Socrates has a reason to continue searching because he recognized that philosophia is a valuable condition of the soul, and philosophy a valuable activity. Socrates coming to understand the nature of human wisdom is important for his philosophical development. It effectively marked his conversion to the philosophical life, not in the sense that he was not living the philosophical life before the oracle, but in that he came to be self-conscious about what he was doing. The conceptualization of the good human life as the life of philosophy is philosophy come to awareness of itself. My argument for his claim is a simple one. In order to live a life of a certain sort, say a doctor, one requires an idea which is capable of serving its own object of aspiration and self-regulation. Medicine becomes a vocation only when the value of health is recognized and used as an organizing principle. Similarly, philosophy becomes a vocation only when its value is recognized. Before the oracle, Socrates talked of himself as radically deficient. After the oracle, he was able to see the value in his mode of being. In recognizing the value of general aporia, that is, in recognizing the importance of the commitment to knowledge enabled to his sense of ignorance, Socrates is able to live a life of soul philosophy. The function of oracle is therefore to legitimate the life that he has been living before the oracle. Why Socrates has humanly? Why? Because he knew it. For this is why the good approve of him. His interpretation of the oracle he did that characteristic psychological state of general aporia is an normative significance because it expresses philosophia. It then clears why Socrates continued to live as he had been living is how to human being ought to live. Thank you, Professor.